Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the Theater at the Imperial Center's production of All That Fall by Samuel Beckett, presented through special arrangement with George Borchardt Incorporated on behalf of the estate of Samuel Beckett. This production is directed by Brooke Edwards and is being performed live from the stage of the Imperial Center. We hope you enjoy our production of All That Fall.
Ruinous old house. Is that you, Christy?
It is, ma'am.
I thought the name was familiar. How is your poor wife?
No better, ma'am.
Your daughter, then?
No worse, ma'am.
Why do you halt? But why do I halt?
Nice day for the races, ma'am.
No doubt it is. But will it hold up? Will it hold up?
I suppose you wouldn't...
Psst! Surely to goodness that cannot be the up mail I hear already.
Damn the mail.
Oh, thank God for that. I could have sworn I heard it, thundering up the track in the far distance. So, Hinny's Winnie. Well, it is not surprising.
I suppose you wouldn't be in need of a small load of dung?
Dung? What class of dung?
Sty dung.
Sty dung. I like your frankness, Christy. I'll ask the master. Christy?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you find anything bizarre about my way of speaking? I do not mean the voice. No, I mean the words. I use none but the simplest of words, I hope, and yet I sometimes find my way of speaking very bizarre. Oh, mercy, what was that?
Never mind her, ma'am. She's very fresh in herself today.
Dung? What would we want with dung at our time of life? Why are you on your feet down on the road? Why do you not climb up on the crest of your manure and let yourself be carried along? Is it that you have no head for heights?
Yep. Way the hell of that.
She does not move a muscle. I too should be getting along if I do not wish to arrive late at the station. But a moment ago she neighed and pawed the ground, and now she refuses to advance. Give her a good whelp on the rump. Harder. Well, If someone were to do that for me, I should not dally. How she gazes at me, to be sure, with her great, moist, clegg-tormented eyes. Perhaps if I were to move on down the road, out of her field of vision. No, enough. Take her by the snaffle and pull her eyes away from me. Oh, this is awful. What have I done to deserve all of this? What? So long ago. No. Sigh out of something, tale of things done long ago and ill done. How can I go on? I cannot. Oh, let me just flop down flat on the road like a big fat jelly out of the bowl and never move again. A great big slop, thick with grit and dust and flies. They would have to scoop me up with a shovel. Heavens, there's it, up mail again. What will become of me? Oh, I'm an hysterical old woman, I know, destroyed with sorrow and pining and gentility and church going and fat and rheumatism and childlessness. Minnie, little Minnie. Love, that is all I ask. Little love, daily. Twice daily, 50 years of twice daily love, like a Parisian horse butcher's regular. What normal woman wants affection? A peck on the jaw in the morning, near the ear, and another at the evening, peck, till you grow whiskers on you. There's that lovely laburnum again.
Mrs. Rooney! Pardon me if I do not doff my cap, I'd fall over. Divine day for the meeting.
Oh, Mr. Tyler, you started the life out of me, stealing up behind me like that, like a deer stalker. Oh!
I rang my bell, Mrs. Rooney. The moment I sighted you, I started tinkling my bell. Now, don't you deny it.
Your bell is one thing, Mr. Tyler, and you are another. What news of your poor daughter?
Fair. They removed everything, you know. The whole, bag of tricks. Now I'm grandchildless.
Gracious, how you wobble. Dismount for mercy's sake, or ride on.
Perhaps if I were to lay my hand lightly on your shoulder, Mrs. Rooney, how would that be? Would you permit that?
No, Mr. Rooney, Mr. Tyler, I mean. I am tired of light old hands on my shoulders and other senseless places. Sick and tired of them. Heavens, here comes Connolly's van. Are you all right, Mr. Tyler? Where is he? Oh, there you are. That was a narrow squeak.
Are you light in the nick of time?
It's suicide to be abroad. But what is it to be at home, Mr. Tyler? What is it to be at home? A lingering disillusion. Now we are white with dust from head to foot. I beg your pardon.
Nothing, Mrs. Rooney, nothing. I was merely cursing under my breath. God and man under my breath on the wet Saturday afternoon of my conception. My back tire has gone down again. I pumped it up, hard as iron, before I set out. And now I'm on the rim.
Oh, what a shame.
Now, if it were the front, I should not so much mind. But the back, the chain, the oil, the grease, the hub, the brakes, the gear, no, it is too much.
Are we very late, Mr. Tyler? I've not the courage to look at my watch.
Late. I on my bicycle as I bowed along was already late. Now therefore we are doubly late, trebly, quadruply late. Would I had shut by you without a word.
Whom are you meeting, Mr. Tyler?
Hardy. We used to climb together. I saved his life once. I've not forgotten it.
Let us halt a moment, and let this vile dust fall back upon the viler worms.
What sky, what light. In spite of all, it is a blessed thing to be alive in such weather and out of hospital.
Alive?
Well, half alive, shall we say.
Speak for yourself, Mr. Tyler. I am not half alive nor anything approaching it. What are we standing here for? This dust will not settle in our time. And when it does, some great roaring machine will come and whirl it all sky high again.
Well, shall we be getting along in that case?
No.
Come, Mrs. Reed.
Go, Mr. Tyler. Go and leave me listening to the cooing of the ringdoves. If you see my poor blind Dan, tell him I was on my way to meet him. When it all came over me again like a flood, say to him, your poor wife, she told me to tell you it all came flooding over her again, and she simply went back home. Straight back home.
Come, Mrs. Rooney, come, the mail is not yet gone off. Just take my free arm and we'll be there with time and to spare.
What? What is all this now? Can't you see I'm in trouble? Have you no respect for misery? Minnie, little Minnie.
Come, Mrs. Rooney, come, the mail is not yet gone up. Just take my free arm and we'll be there with time and to spare.
In her 40s she'd be, I don't know, 50, guarding up her lovely little loins, getting ready for the change.
Come, Mrs. Rooney, come, the mail is not...
Will you get along with you, Mr. Rooney? Mr. Tyler, I mean. Will you get along with you now and cease molesting me? What kind of country is this where a woman can't weep her heart out on the highways and byways without being tormented by retired bill brokers? Heavens, you're not going to ride her flat. You'll tear your tube to ribbons. Venus birds, billing in the woods all summer long. Oh, curse it, if I could let it out without indecent exposure. Mr. Tyler, come back and unlace me from behind the hedge. Oh, what's wrong with me? Never tranquil, seething out of my dirty old pelt, out of my skull. To be in atoms, atoms. Jesus.
Is anything wrong, Mrs. Rooney? You are bent all double. Have you a pain in the stomach?
Oh, well, if it isn't my old admirer, the clerk of the course, in his limousine.
May I offer you a lift, Mrs. Rooney? Are you going in my direction?
I am, Mr. Slocum. We all are. How's your poor mother?
Oh, thank you. She's fairly comfortable. We managed to keep her out of pain. That is the great thing, Mrs. Rooney, is it not?
Yes, indeed, Mr. Slocum. That is the great thing. I don't know how you do it. Oh, these wasps!
May I then offer you a seat, madam?
Oh, that would be heavenly, Mr. Slocum. Just simply heavenly. But would I ever get in? You look very high off the ground today. These new balloon tires, I presume. Does this roof never come off? No? I'll never do it. You'll have to get down, Mr. Slocum, and help me from the rear. What was that? This is all your suggestion, Mr. Slocum, not mine. Drive on, sir, drive on.
I'm coming, Mrs. Rooney. I'm coming. Give me time. I'm as stiff as yourself.
Stiff. Well, I like that. And me heaving all over back and front. The dry old reprobate.
Now, Mrs. Rooney, how shall we do this?
As if I were a bale, Mr. Slocum. Don't be afraid. That's the way. Oh, lower. Wait. Oh, no, don't go. Let go. Oh. Suppose I don't get up, will I ever get down?
We'll get you down, Mrs. Rooney. We'll get you down. We may not get you up, but I warrant we'll get you down.
Oh, lower. Don't be afraid. We're past the age when. Oh, there. Oh, now. Oh, get your shoulder under it. Oh, glory. Up. I'm in. My frock! You've nipped my frock.
For the love of Jesus.
My nice frock. Look what you've done to my nice frock.
What you done to my nice frock?
What will Dan say when he sees me?
Has he then recovered his sight?
No, I mean when he knows. What will he say when he feels the hole? What are you doing, Mr. Slocum?
Gazing straight before me, Mrs. Rooney, through the windscreen and into the void.
Start her up, I beseech you, and let us be off. This is awful.
All morning she went like a dream. Now she is dead. That is what you get for a good deed. Perhaps if I were to choke her. She was getting too much air.
Mind the hen! Oh, mother, you've squashed her. Drive on! Drive on! What a death. 1 minute picking happy at the dome on the road, in the sun, with now and then a dust bath, and then, bang, all her travels are over. All the laying and the hatching. Just one great squawk, and then peace. I would have slit her weaseling in any case. Here we are, let me down. What are you doing now, Mr. Slocum? We're at a standstill, all danger is past, and you blow your horn. Now, if instead of blowing it now, you had blown it at that unfortunate creature.
Will you come down, Tommy, and help this lady out? She's stuck.
Certainly, sir. Nice day for the races, sir. What would you fancy
Don't
for?
mind me. Don't take any notice of me. I do not exist. The fact is well known.
Do as you're asked, Tommy, for the love of God.
Yes, sir. Now, Mrs. Rooney.
Wait, Tommy. Wait now. Don't bustle me. Just let me wheel around and get my feet on the ground. Now.
Mind your feather, ma'am. Easy now. Easy.
Wait, for God's sakes, you'll have me beheaded.
Crouch down, Mrs. Rooney. Crouch down and get your head in the open.
Crouch down! At my time of life, this is lunacy.
Press her down, sir.
Pity.
Now. She's coming.
Oh.
Straighten up, ma'am.
Oh!
There.
Am I out?
Tommy! Tommy, where the hell is he?
You wouldn't have something for the lady's plate, sir. I was given Flash Harry.
Flash Harry, that card horse.
Tommy, blaster bleeding bloody! Oh, Mrs. Rooney. Who's that crucified in his gearbox, Tommy?
Old Sissy Slocum.
Sissy Slocum. That's a nice way to refer to your betters. Sissy Slocum. And you, an orphan.
What are you doing scavenging down here on the public road? This is no place for you at all. Nip up there on the platform now and whip out the truck. Won't the 12:30 be on top of us before we can turn around?
And that's the thanks you get for a Christian act.
Get on with you now before I report you. Do you want me to come down to you with the shovel? Oh, God forgive me. It's a hard life. Well, Mrs. Rooney, it's nice to see you up and about again. You were laid up there a long time.
Not long enough, Mr. Barrel. Would I were still in bed, Mr. Barrel. Would I were lying stretched out in my comfortable bed, Mr. Barrel, just wasting slowly, painlessly away, keeping up my strength with arrowroot and calf's foot jelly, till in the end you wouldn't see me under the blankets any more than a board. Oh, no coughing or spitting or bleeding or vomiting, just drifting gently down into the higher life and remembering. Oh, the silly little unhappiness, as though it had never happened. What did I do with my handkerchief? How long have you been the master of this station now, Mr. Barrow?
Don't ask me, Mrs. Rooney. Don't ask me.
You stepped into your father's shoes, I believe, when he took them off.
Poor Pappy. He didn't live long to enjoy his ease.
I remember him clearly. A small, ferrety, purple-faced widower, deaf as a doornail, very testy and snappy. I suppose you'll be retiring soon yourself, Mr. Barrow, and growing your roses. Did I understand you to say that the 12:30 would be here soon upon us?
Those were my words.
But according to my watch, which is more or less right, or was, by the 8 o'clock news, the time is coming up to 12:36. And yet, upon the other hand, the up mail has not gone through. Or has it sped up, unbeknown to me? For there was a moment there, I remember now, I was so plunged in sorrow, I wouldn't have heard a steamroller go over me. Don't go, Mr. Barrow. Mr. Barrow! Mr. Barrow!
What is it, Mrs. Rooney? I have my work to do.
The wind is getting up. best of the day is over. Soon the rain will begin to fall and go on falling all afternoon. Then at evening the clouds will part. The setting sun will shine an instant, then sink behind the hills. Mr. Barrel? Mr. Barrel? I estrange them all. They come towards me, uninvited, bygones, bygones, full of kindness, anxious to help, genuinely pleased to see me again, looking so well. A few simple words from my heart, and I am all alone. Once more. I should not be out at all. I should never leave the grounds. Oh, there is that fit woman. I wonder, will she bow to me? Miss Fit? Am I invisible then, Miss Fit? Is this Creighton so becoming to me that I merge into the masonry? That is right, Miss Fit. Look closely, and you will find finely distinguished a once female shape.
Mrs. Rooney, I saw you, but I did not know you.
Last Sunday we worshipped together. We knelt side by side at the same altar. We drank from the same chalice. Have I so changed since then?
Oh, but in church, Mrs. Rooney. In church I am alone with my Maker. Are not you? Why, even the sexton himself, you know, when he takes up the collection, knows it is useless to pause before me. I simply do not see the plate, or bag, or whatever it is they use. How could I? Why, even when all is over and I go out into the sweet fresh air, why, even then, for the first furlong or so, I stumble in a kind of daze, as you might say, oblivious to my co-religionists. And they are very kind, I must admit, the vast majority. Very kind and understanding. They know me now and take no umbrage. There she goes, they say. There goes the dark misfit, alone with her Maker. Take no notice of her. And they step down off the path to avoid my running into them. Ah, yes, I am distray, very distray, even on weekdays. Ask Mother if you do not believe me. Hetty, she says, when I start eating my doily instead of the thin bread and butter. Hetty, how can you be so distray? I suppose the truth is I am not there, Mrs. Rooney. Just really not there at all. I see, hear, smell, and so on. I go through the usual motions, but my heart is not in it, Mrs. Rooney. My heart is in none of it. Left to myself, with no one to check me, I would soon be flown home. So if you think I cut you just now, Mrs. Rooney, you do me an injustice. All I saw was a big, pale blur, just another big, pale blur. Is anything amiss, Mrs. Rooney? You do not look normal somehow, so bowed and bent.
Maddie Rooney, nay done, the big pale blur. You have Pearson's sight, Miss Fit, if only you knew it, literally, Pearson.
Well, is there anything I can do now that I am here?
If you would help me up the face of this cliff, Miss Fit, I have little doubt your Maker would requite you, if no one else.
Now, Mrs. Rooney, don't put your teeth in me. Requite. I make these sacrifices for nothing, or not at all. I take it you want to lean on me, Mrs. Rooney.
I asked Mr. Barrel to give me his arm. Just give me his arm. He turned on his heel and strode away.
Is it my arm you want, then? Is it my arm you want, Mrs. Rooney, or what is it?
Your arm! Any arm! A helping hand for 5 seconds. Christ, what a planet.
Really? Do you know what it is, Mrs. Rooney? I do not think it is wise of you to be going about at all.
Come down here, misfit, and give me your arm before I scream down the parish.
Well, I suppose it is the Protestant thing to do.
Pismires do it for one another. I have seen slugs do it. No, the other side, my dear, if it's all the same to you. I'm left-handed on top of everything else. Heavens, child, you're just a bag of bones. You need building up. Oh, this is worse than the Matterhorn. Were you ever up the Matterhorn, misfit? Great honeymoon resort. Oh, why don't they have a handrail? Wait till I get some air. Oh, don't let go. The encircling gloom, tum-tum me on. The night is dark and I am far from home. Tum-tum me on.
Stop it, Mrs. Rooney, stop it, or I'll drop you.
Wasn't it that they sung on the Lusitania? A Rock of Ages. Most touching, it must have been. Or was it the Titanic?
What the? Lovely day for the fixture.
Oh, look, Dolly, look!
What, Mama?
They're stuck! Oh, they're stuck!
Now we are the laughing stock of the 26 counties. Or is it 36?
That is a nice way to treat your defenseless subordinates, Mr. Barrel. Hitting them without warning in the pit of the stomach.
Has anyone seen my mother?
Who's that?
The dark misfit.
Where's her face?
Now, dearie, I'm ready for you. Stand back, you cads.
Mind yourself, Dolly!
Thank you, misfit. Thank you, that will do. Just prop me up against the wall like a roll of tarpaulin. And that would be all for a moment. I'm sorry for all this ram-dam, misfit. Had I known you were looking for your mother, I should not have importuned you. I know what it is.
Randam?
Come, Dolly, darling. Let us take up our stand before the first-class smokers. Give me your hand and hold me tight. One can be sucked under.
You have lost your mother, Miss Fitch.
Good morning, Mr. Tyler.
Good morning, Miss Fitch.
Good morning, Miss Fit.
Good morning, Mr. Barrel.
You have lost your mother, Miss Fitch.
She said she would be on the last train.
Do not imagine, because I am silent, that I am not present and alive to all that is going on.
When you say the last...
Do not flatter yourselves for one moment, because I hold aloof that my sufferings have ceased. No, the entire scene, the hills, the plain, the race course with its miles and miles of white rails and 3 red stands, the pretty little wayside station, even you yourselves. Yes, I mean it, and over all the cloud and blue, I see it all. I stand here and see it all with my eyes. Through eyes. Oh, if you had my eyes, you would understand the things they have seen and not looked away. This is nothing. Nothing. What did I do with my handkerchief?
When you say the last train... When you say the last train, Miss Fitch, I take it you mean the 12:30.
What else could I mean, Mr. Tyler? What else could I conceivably mean?
Then you have no cause for anxiety, Misfit, for the 12:30 has not yet arrived. Look! No, up the line. No, Misfit, follow the direction of my index. There, you see now, the signal at the body hour of 9. Or 3, alas. Thank you, Mr. Barrow.
But the time is now getting on for...
We all know, Misfit, we all know only too well what the time is now getting on for. And yet, the cruel fact remains that the 12:30 has not yet arrived.
Not an accident, I trust. Do not tell me she has left the track. Oh, darling mother, with a fresh sole for lunch.
That's enough old guff out of you. Nip up to the box now and see has Mr. Case anything for me.
Poor Dan.
What terrible thing has happened?
No, Misfit, do not...
Poor Dan.
Now, Misfit, do not give way to despair. I will come right in the end. What is the situation, Mr. Barrow? Not a collision, surely.
A collision? Oh, that would be wonderful.
A collision? I knew it!
Now come, Misfit, let us move a little up the platform.
Yes, let us all do that. No, you have changed your mind? I quite agree. We all are better here in the shadow of the waiting room.
Excuse me a moment.
Before you slink away, Mr. Barrow, please, a statement of some kind, I insist. Even the slowest train on this brief line is not 10 minutes or more behind its scheduled time without good cause, one imagines. We all know your station is the best kept of the entire network, but there are times when that is not enough, just not enough. Now, Mr. Barrow, leave off chewing your whiskers. We are waiting to hear from you. We, the unfortunate ticket holders, nearest, if not dearest.
I do think we are owed some kind of explanation, Mr. Barrow, if only to set our minds at rest.
I know nothing. All I know is there has been a hitch. All traffic is retarded.
Retarded? A hitch? Ah, these celibates. Here we are eating our hearts out with anxiety for our loved ones, and he calls that a hitch. Those of us like myself with heart and kidney trouble may collapse at any moment, and he calls that a hitch. In our ovens, the Saturday roast is burning to a shrivel, and he calls that
There comes Tommy running. I am glad I have been spared to see this.
She's coming. She's at the level crossing.
The up nail! The up nail!
Won't kill! Won't kill!
Dan! Are you all right? Where is he? Dan! Did you see my husband? Dan! He isn't on it. The misery I have endured to get here, and he isn't on it. Mr. Barrow, was he not on it? Is there anything the matter? You look as though you've seen a ghost. Tommy, did you see the master?
He'll be alone, Mum. Jerry is minding him.
Oh, Dan, there you are. Where in the world were you?
Maddie,
Where were you all this time?
in the men's.
Kiss me.
Kiss you, in public, on the platform, before the bye. Have you taken leave of your senses?
Jerry won't mind. Would you, Jerry?
No, ma'am.
How's your poor father?
They took him away, ma'am.
Then you're all alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you here? You did not notify me.
I wanted to give you a surprise for your birthday.
My birthday?
Don't you remember? I wished you your happy returns in the bathroom.
I did not hear you.
But I gave you a tie. You have it on.
How old am I now?
Never mind that. Come.
Why did you not cancel the buy? Now we shall have to give him a penny.
Oh, I forgot. I had such a time getting here. Such horrid, nasty people. Please be nice to me, Dan. Be nice to me today.
Give the buy a penny.
Here are 2 halfpennies, Jerry. Run along now and buy yourself a nice gobstopper.
Yes, ma'am.
Come for me on Monday, if I'm still alive.
Yes, sir.
We could have saved 6 pence. We have saved 5 pence. But at what cost?
Are you not well?
Once and for all, do not ask me to speak and move at the same time. I shall not say this in this life again.
Are you not?
Let us get this precipice over.
Put your arm around me.
Have you been drinking again? You're quivering like a blancmange. Are you in any condition to lead me? We shall fall into the ditch.
Oh, Dan, it'll be like old times.
Pull yourself together, or I shall send Tommy for the cab. Then instead of having saved 6 pence, no, 5 pence, we shall have lost 2 and 3 less 6, 1 and no, plus 1, 1 and no, plus 3, 1 and 9 and 1, 10 and 3, 2 and 2 and 1. We shall be the poor to the tune of 2 and 1. Curse that sun, it's gone in. What is the day doing?
Shrouding. Shrouding, the best of it is past. Soon the first great drops will be splashing in the dust.
And yet the glass was firm. Let us hasten home and sit before the fire. We shall draw the blinds. You will read to me. I think Effie's going to commit adultery with the Major. Wait. I've been up and down these steps 5,000 times, and still I do not know how many there are. When I think there are 6, there are 5, 4 or 5 or 7 or 8. And when I remember there are 5, there are 3 or 4 or 6 or 7. And when I finally realize there are 7, there are 5 or 6 or 8 or 9. Sometimes I wonder if they do not change them in the night. Well, how many do you make them today?
Do not ask me to count, Dan, not now.
Not count. One of the few satisfactions in life.
Not steps, Dan, please. I always get them wrong. Then you might fall on your wound, and I would have that on my manure heap on top of everything else. No, just cling to me, and all will be well.
Oh! Damn and blast! Oh! Well, that is what you call well.
We are down, and a little the worse. That was a true donkey. His father and mother were donkeys.
Do you know what it is? I think I shall retire.
Retire? And live at home? On your grant?
Never tread these cursed steps again. Tread this hellish road for the last time. Sit at home on the remnants of my bottom, counting the hours till the next meal. The very thought puts life in me. Forward before it dies.
Now mind, here's the path. Up. Well done. Now we are in safety and a straight run to home.
A straight run. She calls that. A straight run.
Hush. Do not speak as you go along. You know it's not good for your coronary. Just concentrate on putting one foot before the next, or whatever the expression is. That is the way. Now we are doing nicely. Heavens! I knew there was something. With all the excitement, I forgot.
Good God.
But you must know, Dan, you were on it. Whatever happened? Tell me.
I have never known anything to happen.
But you must
All this stopping and starting again is devilish! Devilish! I get a little way on me and begin to be carried along when suddenly you stop dead. 200 pounds of unhealthy fat. What possessed you to come at all? Let go of me.
No, I must know. We won't stir from here till you tell me. 15 minutes late on a 30-minute run. It's unheard of.
I know nothing. Let go of me before I shake you off.
But you must know. You were on it. Was it at the terminus? Did you leave on time? Or was it on the line? Did something happen on the line? Dan? Why won't you tell me?
Poor Maddie.
Blind Mr. Rooney!
What was
Blind
that?
Mr. Rooney!
The Lynch twins jeering at us.
Ha ha!
Well, will they pelt us with mud today, do you suppose?
Blind Mr. Rooney!
Let us turn and face them. Threaten them with your stick. They have run away.
Did you ever wish to kill a child? Nip some young doom in the bud. Many a time at night, in winter, on the black road home, I'd nearly attacked the boy. Poor Jerry. What restrained me then? Not fear of man. Shall we go on backwards now a little?
Backwards?
Yes. Or you forwards and I backwards, the perfect pair, like Dante's damned, with their faces arsi-versi. Our tears will water our bottoms.
What is the matter, Dan? Are you not well?
Well, did you ever know me to be well? The day you met me, I should have been in bed. The day you proposed to me, the doctors gave me up. You knew that, did you not? The night you married me, they came for me with an ambulance. You've not forgotten that, I suppose. No, I cannot be said to be well, but I'm no worse. Indeed, I am better than I was. The loss of my sight was a great fillip. If I could go deaf and dumb, I think I might pant on to be 100. Or have I done so? Was I 100 today? Am I 100, Maddie?
All is still. No living soul in sight. There is no one to ask. The world is feeding. The wind scarcely stirs the leaves. And the birds are tired singing. The cows and the sheep ruminate in silence. The dogs are hushed, and the hens sprawl torpid in the dust. We are alone. There is no one to ask.
We drew out of the tick of time. I can vouch for that.
How can you vouch for it?
I can vouch for it, I tell you. Do you want my relation or don't you? On the tick of time, I had the compartment to myself as usual. At least I hope so, for I made no attempt to restrain myself. My mind... But why do we not sit down somewhere? Are we afraid we should never rise again?
Sit down on what?
On a bench, for example.
There is no bench.
Then on a bank. Let us sink down upon a bank.
There is no bank.
Then we cannot. I dream of other roads in other lands, of another home, another home. What was I trying to say?
Something about your mind.
My mind? Are you sure? My mind. Ah, yes. Alone in the compartment, my mind began to work, as so often after office hours, on the way home, in the train, to the lilt of the bogies. Your season ticket, I said, costs you £12 a year, and you earn, on an average, 7 and 6 a day. That is to say, barely enough to keep you alive and twitching with the help of food, drink, tobacco, and periodicals, until you finally reach home and fall into bed. Add to this, or subtract from it, rent, stationery, various subscriptions, tram fares to and fro, light and heat, permits and licenses, hair trims and shaves, tips to escorts, upkeep of premises and appearances, and 1,000 unspecifiable sundries, and 'tis clear that by lying at home in bed, day and night, winter and summer, with a change of pajamas once a fortnight, you would add very considerably to your income. Business, I said. Did I hear a cry?
Mrs. Tully, I fancy. Her poor husband is in constant pain and beats her unmercifully.
That was a short knock. What was I getting at?
Business.
Ah, yes, business. Business, old man, I said. Retire from business. It has retired from you. One has these moments of lucidity.
I feel very cold and weak.
On the other hand, I said, they're the horrors of home life. The dusting, sweeping, airing, scrubbing, waxing, waning, washing, mangling, drying, mowing, clipping, raking, rolling, scuffling, shoveling, grinding, tearing, pounding, banging, and slamming. And the brats. The happy little, healthy little howling neighbor's brats. All of this and much more the weekend. The Saturday intermission and then the day of rest. I've given you some idea. But what must it be like on a working day? A Wednesday, a Friday? What must it be like on a Friday? And I fell to thinking about my silent backstreet basement office with its obliterated plate, rust couch, and velvet hangings, and what it means to be buried there alive, if only from 10 to 5, with convenient to the one hand a bottle of light pale ale, and to the other a long ice-cold fillet of hake. Nothing, I said, not even fully certified death, can ever take the place of that. It was then I noticed that we were at a standstill. Why are you hanging out on me like that? Have you swooned away?
I feel very cold and faint. The wind is whistling through my summer frock as if I had nothing on under my bloomers. I have had no solid food since my 11th.
You have ceased to care. I speak, and you listen to the wind.
No, I'm agog. Tell me all. Then we shall press on and never pause till we come safe to haven.
Never pause. Safe to haven. Do you know, Maddie, sometimes one would think you were struggling with a dead language.
Yes, indeed, Dan, I know full well what you mean. I often have that feeling. It is unspeakably excruciating.
I confess I have it sometimes myself, when I happen to overhear what I am saying.
Well, you know it will be dead in time, just like our own poor dear Gaelic. There's that to be said.
Good God!
Oh, the pretty little woolly lambs, crying to suck its mother. Theirs has not changed since Arcady.
Where was I in my composition?
At a standstill.
Ah, yes. I concluded, naturally, that we had entered a station and would soon be on our way again. And I sat on, without misgiving. Not a sound. Things are very dull today, I said. Nobody getting down, nobody getting on. Then as time flew by and nothing happened, I realized my error. We had not entered a station.
Did you not spring up and poke your head out of the window?
What good would that have done me?
Why, to call out to be told what was amiss.
I did not care what was amiss. No, I just sat on, saying, if this train were never to move again, I should not greatly mind. Then gradually, how shall I say, a growing desire to, welled up within me. Nervous, probably. In fact, now I am sure. You know, the feeling of being confined.
Yes, I have been through that.
If we sit here much longer, I said, I really do not know what I shall do. I got up and paced to and fro between the seats like a caged beast.
That is a help sometimes.
After what seemed an eternity, we simply moved off. And the next thing was Beryl bawling the abhorrent name. I got down, and Jerry led me to the men's, or furs they call it now, from reverse, I suppose, the V becoming F in accordance with Grimm's law. The rest you know. You say nothing. Say something, Maddie. Say you believe me.
I remember once attending a lecture by one of these new mind doctors. I forget what you call them. He spoke...
A lunatic specialist?
No, just the troubled mind. I was hoping he might shed a little light on my lifelong preoccupation with horses' buttocks.
A neurologist?
No, just mental distress. The name will come back to me in the night. I remember his telling us the story of a little girl, very strange and unhappy in her ways, and how he treated her unsuccessfully over a period of years and was finally obliged to give up the case. He could find nothing wrong with her, he said. The only thing wrong with her, as far as he could see, was that she was dying. And she did, in fact, die, shortly after he washed his hands of her.
Well, what is there so wonderful about that?
No, it was just something he said, and the way he said it, that have haunted me ever since.
You lie awake at night, tossing to and fro, and brooding on it.
On it another wretchedness. When he had done with the little girl, he stood there, motionless, for some time, quite 2 minutes, I should say, looking down at his table. Then he suddenly raised his head and exclaimed, as if he had had a revelation. The trouble with her was she had never really been born. He spoke throughout without notes. I left before the end.
Nothing about your buttocks? Maddie.
There is nothing to be done for those people.
For which is there? That does not sound right somehow. What way am I facing?
What?
I have forgotten what way I am facing.
You have turned aside and are bowed down over the ditch.
There's a dead dog down there.
No, just the rotten leaves.
In June? Rotting leaves in June?
Yes, dear. From last year, and from the year before last, and from the year before that again. There's that lovely labyrinth again. Poor thing, it's losing all its tassels. There are the first drops. Golden drizzle. Do not mind me, dear. I am just talking to myself. Can hitties procreate, I wonder?
Say that again.
Come on, dear, don't mind me. We're getting drenched.
Can what? What?
Hinnies. Procreate. You know, hinnies or jennies. Aren't they barren or sterile or whatever it is? It wasn't an ass's colt at all, you know. I asked the Regis professor.
You should know.
Yes, it was a henny. He rode into Jerusalem or wherever it was on a henny. That must mean something. It's like the sparrows, than many of which we are of more value. They weren't sparrows at all.
Than many of which? You exaggerate, Maddie.
They weren't sparrows at all.
Does that put our price up?
Do you want some dung? Why do you stop? Do you want to say something?
No,
Then why do you stop?
'tis easier.
Are you very wet?
To the buff.
The buff.
The buff from Buffalo.
We shall hang up all our things in the hot cupboard and get into our dressing gowns. Put your arm around me. Be nice to me. Oh, Dan. All day, the same old record, all alone in that great empty house. She must be a very old woman now.
Death and the maiden.
You are crying. Are you crying?
Yes! Who's the preacher tomorrow? The incumbent?
No,
Well, thank God for that. Who?
Hardy.
How to be happy though married?
No, he died, you remember. No connection.
Has he announced his text?
The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. Hold me tighter, Dan. Oh, yes.
I hear something behind us.
It looks like Jerry. It is Jerry.
You dropped.
Take your time, my little man. You will burst a blood vessel.
You dropped something, sir. Mr. Barrel told me to run after you.
Sure. What is it? What is this thing, Dan?
Perhaps 'tis not mine at all.
Mr. Barrel said it was, sir.
It looks like a kind of ball. And yet it is not a ball.
Give it to me.
What is it, Dan?
'Tis a thing I carry about with me.
Yes, but what is
It
it?
is a thing I carry about with me.
I have no small money. Have you?
I have none of any kind.
We are out of change, Jerry. Remind Mr. Mr. Rooney on Monday, and he will give you a penny for your pains.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm alive,
Yes, sir.
Jerry! Did you hear what the hitch was? Did you hear what kept the train so late?
how would he have heard? Come on.
What was it, Jerry?
It was
Leave the boy alone. He knows nothing. Come on.
What was it, Jerry?
It was a little child, ma'am.
Oh.
What do you mean it was a little child?
It was a little child who fell out of a carriage, ma'am. Onto the line, ma'am. Under the wheels, ma'am.
This has been All That Fall by Samuel Beckett, directed by Brooke Edwards, with technical and sound design by Will Stacy, music performed by Ben Griffith, Foley sound performed by Brooke Edwards. Please join us next week, Thursday, October 8th at 6 p.m. for Embers by Samuel Beckett, the second in our Samuel Beckett radio play series. Thank you for joining us, and have a good evening.